Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, let's give our praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us His truth. Salutations to the sincere Akim and Aqua that may listen. May the blessing of election be upon your house. My name is Brother Raquai. I'm back in here with another quick and Yahweh Ratizah, an edifying lesson. And for today's lesson is going to be the integrity of David and his men, right? So what I want to do is go through a quick account in 2 Samuel, the 18th chapter, right? And then just do a little bit more spiritual extrapolation of how these men conducted themselves, in the midst of tribulation and in the midst of dire situation, essentially, right? So as a matter of fact, before I start, let me get the word integrity. Actually, that's not what I was looking for. Bear with me 1 second. Oops. Slovakia. Okay, this is integrity in the etymology, and it reads innocence, Slovakia, blamelessness, chastity, purity, soundness, wholeness, completeness, purity, correctness, blamelessness, whole, right? Oh, below here it says wholeness, perfect condition, soundness of moral principle and character, entire uprightness or fidelity, right? So a lot of the words that stuck out here is wholeness, uprightness, right? Scriptures talk about there's no soundness, the whole head is sick, and that's one of the things that it describes the condition of our people, right? Because there's no soundness in it, right? Because we're out without the condition of our heritage and our culture, right? So this is to start off, this is 2 Samuel chapter 18 verse, I want to start at 5 just to actually establish a little bit of context of what's actually happening, right? So in the title above it says Absalom slain. So for those who don't know, Absalom is one of David's sons, right? So this is 2 Samuel chapter 18. I want to start at 5 and I'm going to jump down to verse 9, right? And the king gave this commandment to Joab, Abishai, and Ittai, and it says, for my sake, deal gently with young Absalom. And all the troops heard the king give this order to his commanders, right? So what I want to do is jump down to verse 9. So already we have established this idea, this point, that David asked his subordinates to deal gently with Absalom, right? So for in previous chapters, Absalom is trying to revolt against David, and it becomes a very, very messy situation, right? Going even way back to his first son Amnon and that whole situation with Tamar, right? So this is a few chapters down of what has actually accumulated, right? So this is verse 9, and it reads the following. During the battle, Absalom happened to come upon some of David's men. He tried to escape on his mule, but had rode beneath a thick of the branches of a great tree. His hair got caught in a tree. His mule kept going and left him dangling in the air. Right. So this is this is what happened to Absalom in the midst of the forest. Right. So this is what happened. Right. His hair got caught. And the mule rides off, and he's just there dangling, and his hair is just caught. So verse 10, and it reads, one of David's men saw what happened and told Joab and said, I saw Absalom dangling from a great tree. What? Joab demanded. You saw him there and you didn't kill him? I would have rewarded you with 10 pieces of silver and a hero's belt. In the KJV it says, Joab said unto the man that told him, and behold, thou sawest him. Why didst thou not smite him there to the ground? And I would have given thee 10 shekels of silver and a girdle. So right then and there, you see a complete difference between David's subordinate Joab, and then what David actually had commanded, right? So one of his men saw the whole situation and reported back to Joab and said, okay, I saw Absalom there, and then, Joab saying, okay, I would have given you this reward if you had killed him, right? But remember David's orders in verse 5, right? So verse 12, this is where it gets real juicy. So it says, I would not kill the king's son for even 1,000 pieces of silver. The man replied to Joab, we all heard the king say to you and Abishai and Ittai, for my sake, please spare young Absalom, right? In the KJV, it says the following. And the man said unto Joab, though I should receive 1,000 shekels of silver in mine hand, yet I would not put forth mine hand against the king's son. For in our hearing the king charged thee, and Abishai and Ittai, saying, beware that none touch the young man Absalom. So even though despite the fact that Absalom is even going off, right? David gave this order, and this man is actually upholding this order. He's actually walking in that uprightness that we read earlier, right? As a matter of fact, let me get a quick scripture. Okay, this is Sirach chapter 1 verse 18, and it says, the fear of the Lord is a crown of wisdom, making peace and perfect health to flourish. Both are the gifts of Yahweh, and it enlargeth their rejoicing that love him. Wisdom raineth down skill and knowledge and understanding, standing, and exalteth them to honor that hold her fast. And that her is referring to wisdom, right? So this is an example of what the man actually practice and exercise, because he actually adhered to what the king was saying, and what comes with having that fear of the Lord. It comes with, having that wisdom, right? He didn't go back and try to, disobey King David's orders, right? So, verse 13 in 2 Samuel chapter 18, and it says, and if I had betrayed the king by killing his son, and the king would certainly find out who did it, you yourself would be the first to abandon me. Oh my goodness, right? So you can see, you can see the difference in the spirit between, this man here, his commander giving him the orders, giving him opposing orders from what King David had said, right? And he is holding fast to what King David had said, right? Holding that uprightness, right, and practicing and that integrity, right? And what's very, very interesting about this account in particular, because when I think about a lot of entertainers and musicians, a lot of our people in like Hollywood, for example, if that was the case, a lot of our people, you know, if they were in that predicament, in that particular situation, they would have taken the money, you know, the commander's offering all this money, to actually, go against the king's orders. And that's exactly what Esau, that spirit of Esau has done to our people, what it has done is to allow our people to what? Transgress. And Esau gives them a couple chunk, it gives them some chunk change, right? As a matter of fact, let's get another precept. Just bear with me 1 second. Okay, this is First Timothy chapter 6. I want to start at verse. I'll start at 5, and I'll read, and I'll skip down to 9. So it's First Timothy chapter 6, verse 5, and it reads, "Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of truth, supposing that gain is godliness," right? "From such withdraw thyself, but godliness with contentment is great gain," right? So the point it really stresses here is that supposing that gain is godliness, and that is a mindset of our people that has completely lost, because they believe that the things that they gain, for example, there's a nice house, nice vehicles, all these riches that you can probably even think about, right? They think that that sort of gain equates to godliness, and that's far from the case. And what does the scripture say? Verse 6 again, "But godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we carry nothing out." And it says here, verse 9, "But they that are will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition," right? So, this goes into more when, the complete opposite of this man who was showing that integrity, the man who doesn't show that integrity. And then say, for example, if David's subordinate actually took the money, he would strongly exemplify that scripture, right? Because, destitute of the truth and thinking that godliness is gain, right? So let's continue. I want to read down to verse 15. Okay, so this is verse 14, and it reads, "Enough of this nonsense," Joab said. Then he took 3 daggers and plunged them into Absalom's heart as he dangled, still alive, in a great tree. And ten of Joab's young armor bearers surrounded Absalom and killed him. Right? So it just goes to show, the difference, because I just wanted to bring out this difference between this young man in particular, who actually came across Absalom and still continued to adhere to the king's orders. Okay, this is Proverbs chapter 13, verse 6, and it reads, Righteousness keepeth him that is upright in the way, but wickedness overthroweth the sinner. There is that maketh himself rich, yet hath nothing. There is that maketh himself poor, yet hath great riches. Right? So a man, righteousness is able to, you know, um, illuminate a person's, um, illuminate his path and keep him from certain situations, right? But it says, wickedness overthroweth the sinner, right? So wickedness, it doesn't lead to anything prosperous to actually do things that are wicked, right? And the young man strongly exemplified this uprightness, right? Of still, and even on a deeper level, it goes to show that King David was still in that spirit of showing mercy towards Absalom, right? This is Psalms chapter 125, verse 4. And it reads, Do good, O Lord Yahweh, unto those that be good, and unto them that are upright in their hearts. Verse 5. As for such that turn aside from their crooked ways, O Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, shall lead them forth with the workers of iniquity, but peace shall be upon Israel. So it strongly exemplifies, actually being upright and being, having that character in our hearts, in our minds, right? Because integrity is a character trait that is far far lacking, especially in this society, because it's so easy, because our people have been in a state destitute of the truth for so long, because we've discontinued from our heritage. It's our people, they don't practice and actually have this integrity, right? And thinking that godliness, that gains Salakia, is godliness, right? Right, the scriptures talk about that money is a defense, but there's another scripture, and I think in Wisdom of Solomon, where it says, she prevented them that desire her, right? Being able to actually, have these works of righteousness, right? Because this can preserve us from death, and having this kind of character, you know, is strongly exemplified in this man and in David, and this is something that strongly needs to be brought back, through the hopeful light, right, and bring forth that vibration upon the earth, because Israel has lost that character, right? In these manosphere, how do you call it? These manosphere shows, one of the things they always like to stress about is the fact that a so-called high value man is an individual that has a lot of money, right? And it strictly always focuses on money, right? You know what the scriptures say about money, like I just quoted it. But the point is, morals and character, is strongly lacking with our people, right? So let me just get one more and I'll just close it out. Okay, this is Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16, and it reads, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, stand ye in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein, right? So, walking in the old ways and inquiring of the ways of our forefathers is where we get the actual wisdom, knowledge, and understanding how to actually move and conduct ourselves, during these times, right? Because if you tell a regular Israelite, young man, if you had that opportunity, a lot of Israelites would have taken it, they would have been that man to just, kill Absalom right away for, 1,000 pieces of silver. That's good money, right? But, the character and that moral uprightness is a lot more valuable, right? But anyways, I don't want to make this lesson too long, but hopefully this video is edifying. I did not want to make this too long, but hopefully this, all pieced together and something to keep in mind, right? But anyways, I'd just like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us his truth. Till next time, I say Shalom.